What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna take a look at the new 2025 Chevrolet Blazer EV. This one is the SS all-wheel drive finished in black with an MSRP just over $64,000. So let's get right into Chevrolet's performance-focused electric crossover and see what this thing has to offer. Taking a look at the performance specifications for the 2025 Chevrolet Blazer EV, this packs a 102 kilowatt hour battery. It makes 615 horsepower with 650 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 is just 3.4 seconds and curb weight is 5,700 pounds. It's also all-wheel drive and max range is going to be around 303 miles. The overall length is 192.7 inches with wheelbase at 121.8. Width is 78 with height at 64.8, and then minimum ground clearance is 7.5 inches. Moving on to the styling with the new 2025 Chevy Blazer SS model. This is their sporty version, as you can tell already by that insane horsepower figure. They have a really nice design for the LED headlights. They have this super cool LED running light that plays a nice animation when you initially unlock it. You can also see the Chevy logo will light up right in the center. We have all this gloss black trim throughout it. The actual headlight is sitting right there. You have some nice trim with all of your forward-facing parking sensors, the SS badge, and then just the gloss black throughout the front, along with your forward camera. You can see some openings down below to provide cooling to the different radiators, and then we have a very aggressive front end overall with sharp body lines. This definitely has that aggression that anything with the SS badge is known to have. Sharp body lines throughout the hood. Actually, at some angles, kind of looks like a Lamborghini Urus. So pretty neat to see the sharp styling throughout this EV SS. And then moving around to the side, you're gonna get more of this body color all from the bottom, fading into the fender arches. You can see more of the side parking sensors. These are 6-piston Brembo brakes with a 15.3-inch rotor, finished off in a really nice bronze color to match nicely and contrast well to all the black. You're also gonna see the dual tone wheel, 22-inch with the silver black and multi-spoke design. For the side profile, you're gonna get body colored on the side mirrors along with the integrated turn signal and camera. You have all black trim throughout the windows, and then down below that, we have a gloss gray trim accent for that side skirt. More sharp lines throughout the side with black on the door handles. There's a panoramic roof up above as well and black roof rails. For the whole side profile, has a really good proportion. I like how nice it looks overall, with the back end being a little bit shorter and stubbier with a longer hood to give it all a performance style. You're gonna see the sharp body lines cutting into the fender arch with that upper window being a little bit slim. And you can see the integrated spoiler all in back. Nice design along these LED taillights, and just like the headlights, they're gonna do a nice animation as well. So pretty cool design overall. Down below, you're gonna get more of that silver trim, rear diffuser with all of your parking sensors, some nice fins to add some style, and then sharp lines throughout it with blacked out logos. See that blacked out Chevy badge, a nice wider rear end too, just to give it that performance style, and it really comes together nicely. Taking a look at the key fob, you're gonna get lock, unlock, tailgate release, and remote start. You got the blacked out Chevy badge. You have the buttons on all the door handles as well to lock and unlock it. And then this one's gonna get a really sweet red leatherette interior. Has a nice design to it all throughout. And then for the door panel, finished off in the red and black, you have this soft touch material up above with the red contrast stitching. And then below that, we have a release handle, memory seating, lock and unlock, and a nice gray trim. Throughout the red, you have this nice padding throughout the armrest and insert, all of your window and mirror controls, and then storage throughout the bottom. There's even a trunk button and then a Bose audio system. You're gonna see power seats as well with your adjustable lumbar support, and then the nice red leather material. You can see the perforations throughout the center. Nice design overall. Smooth stitching throughout the back, and then the SS badge is embossed into the leather. For the steering wheel, you got a cool, somewhat flat bottom design, more of the red stitching, and then black leather wrapping it. And then now inside the 2025 Chevy Blazer EV SS, keep my foot on the brake. That is all you have to do to fire it up. Everything turns on, the 17.7-inch screen in the center, and that 11-inch screen for the gauge cluster. But really cool, there's no start button, that's all you gotta do. Now you're gonna see you got that Super Cruise as well, part of the steering wheel, and then controls on the left side for the cruise control, Super Cruise, forward pacing, blacked out Chevy badge, and then some audio controls as well as the screen. Got the SS badge as well. Gear selector is gonna be over on the right side, and then on the left side, we have all the controls for turn signals and wiper blades. For the center multimedia screen, you're going to see a nice design overall. Then I can toggle through several different views. You can see your power. You also have your gear, speed, full screen nav will pop up as well. Some safety info, of course you have audio in there as well, and then a bit of a simple design. That left screen with the G-force, you can configure that as well. On the far left side, we have the park and brake, lane keeping, auto hold. You have more of this nice red trim throughout it. One of your air vents where you can easily turn them off and then easily navigate where you want to aim it. A cool design for this like smoked out bezel, and then soft touch up on the dash with heads up display. You have a pretty long dash overall. And then once again, that really cool design for the air vents, more trim throughout the insert, and then more of the red for the dashboard. Then taking a look at the screen in the center, you have a lot of information. So volume is over on this left side with a nice dial integrated into the touchscreen. We have our home menu as well. You can go through all sorts of different apps that are all going to pop up, and then some of them are quite nice. We have our drive modes that you can configure. We have the sport drive mode as well, snow and ice, my mode, and at nighttime there's ambient lighting all throughout the air vents and other aspects of the interior, which will all change in your different drive modes. We're able to adjust quite a lot, and then there's even an extra menu. Plays a cool sound animation for the full-on sport mode, so pretty cool to see all of that. We have more toggles you can go through, a customizable screen, more settings right here for control and safety, and then we have our camera system. You're going to see a top-down view, a forward camera. You also have the rear view camera, top-downs front and back, side view as well. So pretty good overall. We have all of your audio information, the full screen nav, phone integration, and then information about charging. So quite a lot in this screen to go through. Ambient lighting you can adjust as well. And then of course charging, climate controls will pop up. On this left side, we have a couple different things. Turn the vehicle off, other things like that. The one pedal driving, you can set that level. So definitely a lot in the screen. Climate controls are going to be on the lower portion of the screen. You can see your fan speed, zone, heated and ventilated seating, temperature control. However, you can also adjust it using the physical dials. So it makes it pretty easy overall how to work everything. And then down below that, we have 3 different air vents. There is a storage cubby way down here, and you can pop this open to reveal a lot of storage with 2 USB ports. We have our 2 cup holders and wireless phone charging, and then I love all the red throughout the center. More red on the armrest. Opening that up, we have extra space with another plug, and then the glove box on the far right side is pretty large as expected. Passenger seat has that nice red all throughout it, of course, adjustable headrest, and then up above we have a panoramic sunroof. All of your controls are right here. We can easily toggle the sunshade and open that up, and then you're going to get the rest of the glass controls. We have our rear view mirror with the camera system, of course, and then we have a nice large sun visor. Moving on to the rear seat space, just grabbing the door handle, open it up. The door panel is going to be finished off just like we saw up front with the nice smooth red leather material, that cool gray contrast. And then in back, you're going to see 3 seats all finished in the solid red. The center also has the armrest and cup holders that pops downwards, and then you can see the adjustable headrests. You're going to get some amenities like air vents throughout the center. We even have plugs and heated seats, and then just a storage bin behind the passenger seat. As far as maneuvering them, we have a lock up here, folding these down nice and flat to maximize cargo space as well as into the trunk. Hopping into the back seat with the Blzer EV SS, sitting here at 5'11", I sit here pretty good. I have good headroom overall. My head just barely touches. However, with the recline, you have 2 different settings, basically about a 2-inch difference. So reclining it just a little bit makes it to where I have a bit better headroom. Now my legs fit nicely behind the driver's seat at my height, plenty of footroom as well. I'd say overall it's a very spacious second row. I mean, definitely can't complain. You have the amenities, the room overall. However, I wish this seat base was a bit more angled. I feel like it's a little flat. So it's fine in space, just comfort could be better if you could sink more into the seat. But nonetheless, pretty practical crossover for grown-ups back here. Car seats and kids will definitely fit very nicely. Moving on to the cargo space, there's going to be a button underneath the Chevy badge. I can just press once, and the power liftgate is going to open up. So with the seats up, we're going to get 25.5 cubic feet of cargo volume back here, which is pretty ample. You have nice cutouts in the far left and right side, along with some LED lights up above. The bottom floor you can lift upwards, and we have extra hidden cargo space all throughout it with your charge cable. You have a little hook as well to keep that up. And then you can easily reach these levers, and we can get these down. Now, as far as recline on these back seats, you can see that a little bit. So you can mess with that, and and lock them into place right there, as well as the bottom section. But pulling it all the way down, you're gonna get about 59 cubic feet of cargo volume with flat folding seats to truly make this car pretty practical. Button up above, we can just close and get that tailgate to automatically close down. And then one last look, everything is nice and flat, really maximizing the space this crossover is gonna get. Now, playing with the drive modes, of course, you can toggle them. We're in the sport mode. I've turned this one on as well. Plays a cool sound animation. But this thing is fast. I mean, this really packs a punch, especially with a mid 3-second 0 to 60 time. No slouch for sure. Exactly what you would expect an electric car to accelerate like. Yeah, that picks up and moves. Now in normal mode, it's definitely not crazy fast. It's peppy as you would expect, but it doesn't have that blisteringly fast acceleration. So they've done a pretty good job making the drive modes actually make a difference. And then overall ride quality is really smooth, you know, going 40 miles an hour. I mean, you don't really hear anything as far as wind noise or road noise, even with 22-inch wheels. You know, I don't find this to be at all abrupt or noisy. This is a really comfortable and quiet car. Visibility is great too. You have all sorts of good view through the glass. I love the camera back here. Over the back, while they are small windows, it's really actually easy to see around. Same with your left shoulder. So can't complain with the overall view. Definitely is pretty roomy. And then once you start getting up, going quicker, when we play with the different things you can adjust, like the steering, going into the normal mode, definitely nice and lazy as expected. And then sport mode, there's a noticeable difference in weight. Same for the acceleration as well as that brake feel. Now, if we go to competition mode on, we'll turn that on. We have basically all the power as well. So then if we do another acceleration with everything in the on mode, make sure that is on as well. I'd say right off the line it's not crazy, but once it starts picking up to like 10-15 miles an hour, this thing really starts to book it. But nice to see the acceleration. And I like how the sounds aren't too cheesy like some electric cars putting actual engine sounds in. But yeah, it has the acceleration you'd want, the overall space you'd want, and then using the interior while driving, because the screen is so large, it's actually pretty easy. Personally, I don't really use 90% of stuff that's in a screen anyway. I would just have my Apple CarPlay on, listening to music, and climate is literally all I ever use. So for me, I like how there are physical controls. It makes it very easy, and you can basically use the physical controls while viewing the touchscreen controls. So I think that is a kind of a good redundancy just to make it a little bit more simple to use everything in this car. But overall driving impressions, you know, I don't think I have any complaints. It drives like an electric car, and it's got the power levels to feel zippy and peppy around town, and ultra fast if you want to turn it up a notch and just have some crazy straight line fun. The handling's pretty stable too, for given it weighs almost 5,000 pounds. You know, for being a crossover, it's not a sports car, but you can drive this and have some fun even on the twisty turns and use it for the day-to-day as well. So turning around to my honest thoughts with the Blazer EV. So in general, the Blazer is a good sized crossover. It's not too big, not too small. It really is a good two-row family crossover with the space for a legit family. So not at all bad. When you go to the EV, obviously, we have that fully electric drivetrain, which isn't gonna be for everyone. However, it's a nice option to have. And then for the SS trim, you know, Chevy really cranked it up a notch to give you some power. I drove this before looking up any of the specs, and I figured, yeah, this thing is fast. And then reading that it's got over 600 horsepower and torque, you really definitely notice that a lot. Wow. Yeah, so the initial get up, it doesn't hit you as hard as some electric cars do, which actually is quite nice, because some really fast electric cars, the acceleration is almost too much to where it can make you lightheaded. It is that crazy fast. So this car almost has like a little bit of turbo lag where it starts to move and then it starts really hitting hard. And I think that's probably even a safer design for the mechanical components as well, just because some electric cars have some stupid instant power. It's all fun, of course, but you know, this kind of gives you a balance of really fast, but doesn't hit you that hard. Now, if you go full throttle immediately, it's definitely a bit quicker than easing into that throttle. But it's been a fun crossover to drive. Like I said, it's been quiet. It's been very easy to drive around town. So it's been something that's nice and livable with just the overall build quality and ride quality. The driver's seat comfort level, just like I had the complaint in the back seat, I wouldn't mind if I could sink the base a little bit lower and have the upper portion cradle my legs more. So I do feel like the seats are a little on the flat side. You know, maybe for the SS, they could have done more of like a bucket looking seat or something at least close to that. It's still comfortable enough, just I really wish I could angle it a little bit sharper to fit my legs a little bit nicer. But overall, the seats have good padding in them. You know, can't really complain much. Armrests are all in a great place. One thing I've noticed with the turn signals, you have to like really hit them hard for them to engage. That didn't even go all the way yet. But the turn signals, I don't know, there's almost like a little bit extra weight to make them stay on versus just the 3-click kind of courtesy flash. You can easily get onto the highway with this car, and then visibility and everything. I mean, look at that, getting up to 70 with a car in the way who didn't want to let me in. No problem with an EV. So that is definitely one thing I like with the electric cars, is how zippy they are around town. And when you have something with this kind of power, when cars don't have the courtesy to let you in on the highway, you just press the gas, you're gone, or press the accelerator and you are gone. And then when we use Super Cruise on this, it doesn't work on every single road. It really has to read the guidelines nicely to work perfectly. However, on the highways that I have tested, it seems to work as expected. Basically just gives you that hand-free driving, the gap adjustment, the lane assist, all that sort of thing. So no complaints there with all of that. And then now that we are on the highway, ride quality once again, it's pretty quiet. You hear some of the little bumps in the road, but nothing that would drive me crazy or anything like that. And yeah, it just seems like an overall good vehicle. You know, I still have about 50% of the battery left and driving it around quite a lot for the week. So 300 miles seems like a fairly good range. It seems like some of the more performance-focused cars, they get you in the low 200s, and that's when I feel like I start having the range anxiety. So I feel like 300 is pretty good for a performance-focused crossover, and it's been plenty of miles for a whole week to just play with, not really even think about where I'm going, what I'm doing. If you have the right charger at your home setup, no big deal, you'll charge it overnight and you'll have a full charge. So it seems like Chevy kind of did everything right with this. If you're looking for an electric crossover with some serious power, this has got to be on the list. It's got a cool style for it, for sure, great color combinations inside and out. It's a useful, practical family crossover, and then when you really want to, it is pretty darn quick. It's definitely quicker from 0 to 70 than like 60 to 70 and up. So highway acceleration, once you're already going highway speeds, isn't going to blow your socks off. But the quickness from anything in town up to highway speeds, this thing is pretty mind-bending. So there you guys go, a look at the 2025 Chevy Blazer EV SS. Yeah, this thing has quite a lot to offer for a performance electric EV. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for plenty more content to come, and I will see you guys in the next video.